Hey everybody, this is JDGaming back today with a recap of all the really cool things I was able to pick up from Korea's OCG this year. Now, longtime followers of my channel may know that about every year or so I go over to South Korea, the good one, visit some family, and I pick up some of the cool stuff that they have going on in OCG land. And this year was really special because we just had Link era begin, so I was able to get some Code of the Duelist as well as Circuit Break, just a few packs of it because it had released over there a couple weeks before TCG got it over stateside. So that was pretty cool, being able to see some of that. But my favorite part was by far this really cool card shop I found. So picture like an average size classroom, fill it completely with games, collectibles, trading cards, to the point that you have one tunnel about the size of a middle schooler that goes from the front door to the back wall, and that's the only space you have to move because it was full to the brim with cards and all these other things. They had every core set from Legend of Blue Eyes through Circuit Break, and they had all these exclusive packs, these premium packs, Gold Series, Millennium Pack, Chronicle Pack, Expansion Pack, High Grade Pack, all these crazy things that we only have over in the OCG. So it was a really cool thing to stumble upon. I didn't even know it was going to be part of the trip, and it was quite honestly one of the highlights that I'll remember overall, but definitely in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh! This is going to be in a few sections here. I'm briefly going to go over just some of my favorites, and we're going to begin with some of the core sets, Duelist Packs, and Gold Series, so things that we have over in the TCG, but there will be differences. So starting off, we have some classic cards from the original series that were possible, are really popular for different reasons, like Sonic Duck's a meme, but then we have Magical Merchant that's popular to this day in GOATs. I ended up pulling a bunch of rares and commons in the first series set though, so I was like, maybe I got scaled packs. I really thought I might have been gypped because I picked up a bunch of single packs here. But it ended up not being the case. The guy was cool. He doesn't do that to his customers. I pulled back-to-back Magma Neos. Next is just cool because it has English text, even though it's Korean. And Rainbow Neos as well. So it's really cool because these are ultras. They were secrets in TCG. But these were ultras, and basically OCG rarity is based almost entirely on how relevant are these cards to the anime and to their respective characters. So a card like Dark Arm Dragon, for example, is a rare in Phantom Darkness, despite it being extremely powerful competitively. Very cool difference here, but was able to pull a couple of really cool heroes back to back, and then I was able to pull in the Synchro era here from Duelist Genesis, an ultimate rare version of Red Dragon Archfiend. So this is Red Demon's Dragon. You could see this is just like any other ultimate rare. It does have a little bit of a glossier finish to it relative to North American counterparts, and that's kind of like the Euro prints. And honestly, I personally think aesthetic finishes on the OCG and Euro print cards are so much better than the North American versions. I, of course, grew up here. I'm used to the North American versions, but it's just so much nicer being able to see these cards because it looks like more care and quality was put into these cards, to be completely honest. We have other things too, like a rare Deep Sea Diva from Raging Battle, and then a bunch of random commons and rares and stuff from a lot of the Synchro era, but still pretty cool to pull an ultimate rare. And then this is a Majestic Mech from the High Grade Pack Volume 4. So High Grade Pack is their version of Dark Revelation. It actually has the same cover cards on them. So Dark Revelation 2 or High Grade 2 had D-Mach and Blade Knight and those cards. This was High Grade 4, so Dark Revelation 4, it had Shining Flare Wingman and Raviel and stuff on the front. So it was GX era. Very, very difficult packs to find in the TCG, of course. I didn't even know they had them in OCG, but apparently they're pretty much one-to-one, it looks like. At least the cover cards are exactly the same, so I'm not sure the exact set composition, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was just a direct translation over from one region to the next. So very cool running into those. Those are some of the coolest ones that I was able to find. Duelist Packs over in OCG are named just based on their numbers. So this is Battle City, so it's number 16 just in sequence. And we have Multiple Destruction, Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, JDGaming. And then in the next set, this is Rivals of the Pharaoh. So this is actually the cover card, the Silent Swordsman here. And then this is Duelist Pack 17. And I was able to pull the common version of Dark Burning Magic as well. And the coolest thing about any of these foils is I pulled one of each pack at that store. So any foils, especially when they're cover cards, it was really cool to get because there was no guarantee I was going to pull them in the small sample that I ended up purchasing from this guy. So very cool, you know, just core sets here so far, Duelist Packs. Gold series are similar to ours, but the cards, of course, are slightly different because, you know, meta games were different. And then first thing I want to point out is there are more like premium gold right off the bat. This is Gold Series 1 Cyber Dragon for them, but you can see it has kind of like the smoother, glossy gold as opposed to kind of like the rainbow colored ultra rare foil that we originally had for our Gold Series 1 and 2. Cards are also slightly differently named, like Tepung is Typhoon, which is obviously a kind of heavy storm, but then like Giant Trunade will be in here in a bit. That's Hurricane and all that. Another cool thing is these are all from Gold Series 1 here, and you can see that some cards are common, some are gold, and any card can be common or gold, which is very nice because it adds an additional layer of collectability, a little more fun factor, if you will, to the different cards because you could pull them in different varieties. You're not guaranteed to get a Bryanak that is any one kind. You could pull either. So that was really cool. And then this guy is cool. This actually, if you've seen the Japanese version, this is the Chinese character, I believe, for Death. And so this is actually Death's Deck Destruction Virus, which is more true to the original Japanese name for that card. So that was pretty cool to be able to get that. But this is Gold Series 1. Gold Series 2 has some like later cards in it, I guess, but you know, just some more recent cards. We have Hurricane here. JD was very cool to pull because I was able to complete a Lightsworn deck right before I left for the trip, so finally should be able to profile that because I was able to get my second BLS while I was overseas. Gold Series 3 has some Gold Series cards, or gold cards that we never got, so like I don't believe Kaiku was ever gold for us. I know Fires of Doomsday never was, so it's very cool to be able to see new cards that we wouldn't have gotten over here because the environment again was different. Some staples like Compvac. We have Ryoku is so crazy. My brother and I ended up playing sealed just for fun with these cards when we got back, and it was just ridiculous because this card is just it solves so many strong monsters. It's just ridiculous. Fun thing to consider here is this is another good sample into the 15 years of the game's history because you start looking at a card like this and its layout is different from classic layout. Like box is different in terms of width, the color is different. So I did a video talking about like how cards have changed over time, but essentially this was the time when in TCG they made like the Warrior Strike structure deck, they made like the Generation Force, and then they, along with the card layout changing, went with problem-solving card text. So the PCST, basically they decided, you know, we're revamping the cards anyway according to how OCG decided to do it. Why not follow suit and then add on our little fix here of making the cards a little more logically written so we can tell what the heck they're supposed to do. So I don't know, it's kind of cool being able to see that change happen. We see nuances in the game's evolution beyond just the mechanics in the game. And then, you know, more cards that weren't gold for us, so it'd be really cool to see, you know, gold rare Armageddon Knight. We have Evil Fiend Lava Golem. So OCG has crazy titles for their monsters, like it's like 7 Crystal God, Rainbow Dragon, and all that stuff. So Korea decided to just translate that over, so it gives it more of that monster feel from OCG Japan. So I did appreciate that. We have Zaborg, we have Dimensional Prison, and then this is by far my favorite gold series. This is Gold Series 5 for them, which is 2013, and we have, you know, Lavolval Chain, we have Mind Control, which I've used in countless Psychic decks, but then we have like Nat Beast, Stratos, Solemn Warning. I mean, for just one pack of this set, this was an amazing set of pulls here. I was a bit disappointed I didn't pull Nimble Momonga because I used to play that card in an old Synchro deck way back in the day, and I low-key wanted a gold secret version of Nimble Momonga. It would have been just like a personal, yes, this is the pinnacle of my Yu-Gi-Oh experience, or at least maybe something close to it. But you know, I didn't get it. Oh well, maybe next time. Then this is technically a gold series version of the card too, but Hidden Arsenal is a thing as well in OCG. You can see this version of Guy Bull here is kind of like it's reminiscent of a secret rare from our old video game promos in North America, and then kind of like World Superstars as well. That's just the secret rare pattern they used. But Hidden Arsenal essentially was just the same thing as the English version of Hidden Arsenal and the rest of TCG as well. Cards, I think, were the same numbers, same pack style of super rare foils and secrets, and I actually think Hidden Arsenal and TCG had the 5 cards per pack because it follows the scheme of the OCG, so it was interesting to be able to see that. Didn't pull Trishula, didn't pull the other Naturias or anything in the set, but it was still cool to pull a cover card here nonetheless, and it definitely felt like opening American Hidden Arsenal packs because, you know, set layout was so similar. Then the next set is special packs, so Premium Pack, Expansion Pack, Millennium Pack, and Chronicle Pack. And so basically, Premium Pack, if you've seen the Japanese versions, a lot of them have fixed cards. So like Premium Pack 6 in Japan, I believe it was, has, for instance, Dark Magician Girl, Arcana, Dark Magician, Thousand Knives, Dark Magic Curtain, Magic Cylinder, and it was one other card that I'm not thinking about right now. I can't picture it. But essentially, you know, you had specific cards and it always came with those, and it never changed. And in Korea, they changed that so that you actually have a pool much like our TCG versions of Premium Packs. And so this Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon you can see here is actually card number 10. So there's no guarantee you'll pull it in a 5-card pack. So it was very nice to pull something this iconic in my 1 pack. We have some other cards that were really cool as well, like Harpy's Feather Duster. We have Yellow Gadget. We have Vandalgion for the counter fairies, and we also have the original Mine explosion artwork of Widespread Ruin, which is something that we finally got in Millennium Pack over in TCG, but originally was, I guess, censored, you could even consider it, had the alternate artwork in the TCG, so it's pretty cool to see that. This Ghost of a Grudge Super was actually from a pack that had Beals on the cover, so I really wanted that. Didn't get it, unfortunately, but nonetheless, it's pretty cool to see how some of these cards ended up making it to the TCG in Gold Series as the Gold Secret Rares. Usually, that's how they bring like miscellaneous premium pack types of things, so certain packs like Secret Forces, High Speed Riders, and Fusion Enforcers actually are called SP packs or special packs, and those carry over pretty much like a direct translation with a couple edits in the set lists. But the premium packs are the ones that actually get imported through other means like set imports or through the Gold Series. And so that's most likely how we'll probably get the Vrains pack cards, unless they decide to I don't know, make it like a special Vrains Hidden Arsenal type thing. Maybe kind of like a Battles of Legend, but you know, we'll see how we get those cards. Extra pack is kind of the opposite then. We have TCG exclusive world premieres going over to OCG, and then some exchange between Japanese and Korean territory cards. So we have like a super rare version of Shark, much like the original and the Cosmo Blazer reprint. We have a common D-Boys, because these guys were demoted because they weren't very good and not really worthy of their secret rare status. And then we even have Star Seraph, or Star Sovereign, Seraph Scepter, yeah, the stick. And, you know, some of the cards like Norden was originally Korean, that went over to Japan. They exchanged some cards. Not sure why they barter specifically when it's the same company, even if it is international. I'm not sure exactly how they do their business, but, you know, they have exclusives. They exchange stuff. So that's what extra packs do. They actually had like Tour Guide, Maxi, Tengu. They had, you know, recently they had Spirals. They had Burning Abyss. You know, those things go in extra pack over in OCG. Then we have expansion pack, which is interesting thing. Korea got their Yu-Gi-Oh cards after Japan, obviously, and after TCG. So to allow more competitive play, they made like a retrained booster pack that's kind of like Dark Beginning, and it basically gave access to cards that were classic and a little more competitive to the player base, so that they would be able to, you know, up their game essentially. Again, they already had like the Dark Revelation set, but this is kind of, I guess, their exclusive version. They named it as like an essential pack for competitors and collectors alike. It's more of like an advanced type of pack for the people who want to play a little bit harder. So we have things like Premature Burial, we have Summon Skull, Critter, which is actually kind of cool. So critter is obviously a word for the type of monster Sangan might be, but Sangan in Japanese actually means 3 eyes, which is the type of critter Sangan is. So fun little fact there. It was very interesting to see Korea decided to keep the same name. It definitely helps that there aren't 3 different names floating around for this card, so I do appreciate that. But it was kind of cool seeing Critter here. We have Call Beyond the Grave, like Call of the Living Dead. It's like Living Dead's call from beyond the grave. It's ridiculous. Call of the Haunted. Bottomless Trap Hole, some more staples here. It's very cool seeing some cards from Magician's Force thrown into the expansion packs as well. Like this was originally an ultra for us in TCG, so it's cool seeing Spell Canceller again. And then this is really like the prize, I guess you could pull from the expansion packs. They have certain cards that they made as gold ultra rares, and you can see this is the rainbow type of foil that we have in TCG Gold Series 1 and 2, our original gold rares before they became the glossy premium gold style. So it's pretty cool that we actually have this here. So Vampire Lord was very nice to see here because I don't think that ever got a gold print, so we got to see something unique. Have some more expansion cards. Got to put Pole Position in here because Pole Position's freaking hilarious. It's a meme that causes all those infinite loops, so we had to have that. And then these are all in the same direction. I wanted to double check. So we have now the 20th anniversary pack, which is their Chronicle pack. This is basically Duelist Saga, and you could see the same type of foil, except it's on the entire card. This is Goyo Guardian. You can see here, this is, it says 1 here because in the OCG, eventually they started putting numerical markings on each of the effects for cards so that you could tell, okay, this is 5 effects, or this has 2 effects, or whatever. And then they also say this card's 1 effect can only be used once per turn. If you've seen like YG Organization, their work and translations, they do a lot of that stuff, and they preserve that by saying 1, 2, 3, whatever. That's basically what they're doing. We have things like Logia, we have Sovereignty now, so we have the Chair, Mizuki, Treeborn Frog, Monster Gate, and the dreaded Skill Drain. So basically, these are all common versions of cards. There are some supers in this set. Like I know Dark Arm Dragon is a super. Emergency Teleport was apparently in the set too, so I'm kind of bummed that I didn't pull any of those. But nonetheless, it was very nice seeing the different Chronicle packs. And that was actually 2 waves of it. It was Chronicle Pack 1 and 2. So I don't know if you guys remember seeing the spoilers if you did, but basically they had like half of the set in one part and half of the set in another, and they combined the 2 into a 100 card set that also included Blue Eyes White Dragon as 000 and then Dark Magician as 101. I do believe when they brought it over to TCG, one of the biggest changes, other than things like Emergency Teleport leaving and whatever, they actually got rid of the Stardust Dragon and some other cards like that, which is weird because there was a cover card on one of those packs, but I don't know. Konami, you do silly things sometimes. So now this set, I want to put these cards aside. So this is their Millennium pack, and Millennium pack, isn't that their janky pack? Yeah, it is. You may remember these cards. We have Exodius and Dark Master Zork and Scapegoat, but wait, what is this? We have like kind of this sparkly texture, and then whoa, this is their Millennium rare. So this is like the hieroglyphic style foil that they have that's supposed to, I guess, be a throwback to the original concept of Yu-Gi-Oh, being ancient Egyptian. And so it was just really cool seeing the same cards that we got in our watered down version of Millennium pack as these really cool super rare Millennium foils. And on top of that, they have some cards in the set that weren't in ours. So we have things like we have Dark Renewal as a Millennium rare. I mean, how many of you guys who play Dark Magicians would love a Millennium rare version of this card, or just like access to a different variety besides just secret, so it's really cool being able to see that. But the coolest card, single card I pulled, was definitely this one here, one that I was not expecting, a Millennium rare BLS Envoy of the Beginning. It's just amazing that this was even in the set, because I mean, in Millennium Pack and OCG, they added some more cards that Yugi and Kaiba use. So you actually have Chaos Emperor Dragon in there as well. A lot of the things are different rarities, so you have like Ultra Millennium Rare version of Left Arm Offering, you know, things like that. So it was, I think Millennium Pack would have been a really cool set if they did something like this. Maybe a little more expensive for TCG, because then they would have been more of like a hidden arsenal type set. But nonetheless, I really do think TCG got gypped on this, because in OCG, this is not a lame set. Even with most of the core cards being the same, it's just so cool being able to see all of this stuff. I really do think it would have been nice if we got to keep the Millennium Rare, even in like a special version of it or something, like a special edition that had just some promos or whatever. But I don't know. They'll do what they do. It is kind of cool being able to see the OCG though, because then, you know, you can appreciate what it is that this game is in different territories as well. So all that stuff you just saw, you know, the one pack of every kind that I ended up picking, ended up being $40, including this pack of lovely Monarch sleeves. So like, it's just so much you're able to get, because everything is 50 cents to $1 a pack. Like, I would not have been able to buy 15 years of dueling history for $40 anywhere in the TCG. Like, it's impossible. You can't get that much value and that much variety all at once. So definitely a really cool experience that I will remember for a very long time. I'm wondering if I can do that again. I did not know where that store was. I do know now. So it might become like a regular visiting place for me next year. Hopefully it doesn't disappear. It's not like a big store. It's like this guy owns this shop, and whenever he decides to sell out or retire, like, that's it, you know, like it's just gonna end. But hopefully it sticks around just a little bit, because I think it was just one of the coolest stores that I was able to find. The next set of cards, so these here I was able to get for a total of about $9 at just like a small school supply store. Basically, again, they focus a lot more on booster sales. So on top of just like casual players, they actually are able to market to kids even more, because they're 50 cents to $1 per pack, you know. So I was able to find just a few different packs, so a few Gold Series 2014, which is the next set the guy over at the other store didn't have. So I picked up a few of those. That can have like the Egyptian gods as gold secrets. It can have like Exodia and stuff. So I definitely wanted the Exodia. And then we have some like I got one Shining Victory set, one Dark Illusion, one of the legendary Duelist pack with like Joey on the front, and the one Collector Pack 17, which is basically the OCG's main set that had a lot of the cards from Battles of Legend. I know Battles of Legend and TCG had a lot of extra reprints in it for us that we were just clamoring for, but basically the core cards, you know, the cover Starving Venom guy, you know, those cards all came from Collector Pack 17, so it's pretty cool to be able to see all that here. Just one of each of those, remember, and then just a handful of Gold Series. Shining Victories. Boom, we got the Crystal Wing. It's an Ultra, which is very nice. This thing can come in Ultra, Ultimate, or Secret, or Holographic Rare, which is insane, just the amount of variety you can get. Again, just because of the variety, I think it's kind of nice that I pulled an Ultra, because if I pulled a Secret, I wouldn't be able to really tell the difference between OCG and TCG, so definitely appreciate it. I do kind of wish it was a holographic version, because that the Ghost Rare version essentially would have been so neat to pull, but nonetheless, they also in Korean OCG at least went back and forth between putting first edition and not. I don't believe first edition was a thing for Shining Victories, but I could be wrong. We also had some other cool cards like Gofu from Dark Illusion. We had Bubble Dog. This one I just like because they didn't change the name to Bubble Bow Wow. I don't even play Performance Pals, but I was kind of disgusted by the abomination of Bubble Bow Wow, when Bubble Dog is just like the perfect name for this card. And then Collector Pack 17 has some cards like, you know, Zaphion the Time Lord. You'll recognize that from Battles of Legend. But we also have like Quiet Life was something that was made there. So this was actually a super rare core set card that was imported to our Circuit Break set. So it's pretty cool being able to see that card come out just a little bit early there. And then Gold Series stuff. So just like before, you can get cards in gold or in common. And it was very cool to pull not one, not two, but 3 Exodia heads in gold and then a common. So what actually happened was I pulled this one. I was like, Yes, I wanted a nice bold print common Exodia head that wasn't just like a promo from Legendary decks or whatever. And then I ended up pulling one of these. Oh, that was cool. Along with a Caius as one of my cards. And then I pulled the same pack 3 times. Like, it was the exact same 5 or 6 cards again in a row in the same order. It was just insane. If it were like a bad card I pulled, I would have been really mad. But, you know, I wanted the Exodia heads. Like, this is like the best thing I could have ever wanted. You know, like I didn't even know this was a possibility, but it happened. We also got some other cool cards from Gold Series, like the Dragon Rulers. So we have Redox, Title, Blaster, and Tempest. And Tempest here is a gold rare version. There is a common as well, but, you know, just to show you could get different versions of all of these cards. So actually, that's a terrible glare. So we'll, it's still a glare with a common, but, you know, Dragon Rulers. So we got those. And then a bunch of Redox as well, because he was sticking along with Exodia there. We have a bunch of Caius as well, 3 gold versions and a common. So it was really cool to see that. This looks more like a battle pack version to me, because I'm just used to seeing black rare Caius as a cheap version in the TCG. And then gold rare, again, this is more like our premium gold print. We have just some fun cards like Prisma. We have Forbidden Lance, lots of those just from that set. Powerful Rebirth, and then Gustav Max as well. So there were some other cards in that set. We had like Melody of Awakening Dragon was pretty cool, but I didn't pull any gold versions of those or anything. So, you know, overall, all this stuff right here in the second batch, again, total of this was $9. Like, just imagine the value. Like, Crystal Wing, even now, is going to be most of that value in the TCG. So just to be able to pull this stuff is just insane. I love being able to get all this stuff on the cheap. And then the next thing, so this is the penultimate set here, second to last bit. We have an entire box of Invasion of Venom, which is Invasion Vengeance. So this is like what a pack looks like. This is a Korean version. One pack has 5 cards each. They're 501 in Korea, which is basically 50 cents per pack. You get 40 packs per box. Yeah, 40 packs here. And so this is really cool. I wanted this just for the Aroma SHVI Rosemary, because I heard that they have a super rare version and it had been downgraded for the TCG. And how can you do a deck profile with a downgraded rare version, you know? But nonetheless, I ended up pulling one of the cover card, which is very nice. Again, with that gloss from the OCG, it looks especially nice here. So cover card right off the bat was pretty cool to get. We got not only the ultra rare version of this Meteor Comet Dragon guy, but we also got the ulti version as well. So very cool alternate versions of this card. We have Treat Toad, or Totally Awesome, I guess. This is literally called Rice Cake Frog in the Korean version, so pretty cool to be able to see this as just a rare. I actually thought at the end of my pack opening, like, what if I pull a Treat Toad or Totally Awesome, and boom, I ended up getting it, which rounded out this set very nicely. So pretty cool to see that thing. And I did it. I pulled this guy. This was really awesome to pull the Rosemary. I mean, it looks so much better as a super rare. And I was honestly kind of annoyed by Konami for this, because they went and took a set that has a super rare in every single pack in TCG, and they downgraded a super rare to a regular rare, which is also in every pack. It didn't really even make this card easier to pull, because I remember I opened 4 boxes of this set, and I pulled 3 regular rare Rosemaries in English, and it's just like, it's ridiculous. Like, super rare, you know, just keep it super rare if you're giving supers in every pack, like, you know. But nonetheless, was glad I got that. The tuner version of Aroma SHVI Angelica is actually just a common. Kind of wish it were a rare or something, but, you know, it is what it is. And then some Metal Foes cards are coming up next, so we actually have downgraded rarities on these. Bismugear's common, of course. We have a common version of Full Metal Foes, rare Mithrilium, and super of Alcahest. And again, cool thing is these can be either super or secret, so nice thing to pull. Just like a different version, I guess, from our TCG variants. And let me just get some of this stuff out of the way. We have a few more things here from Invasion. So we have both the secret and super versions of Crystron Quandux, and I think this is an ultra rare maybe in the TCG. So it's pretty cool seeing different versions of that. Then we have Barastos, the Fathomer, True King. So this is a super rare version of that. It actually has F in it, which is one of the ways OCG goes and shows like the same archetype. They'll actually go and like use English characters every once in a while. Both Saravis, I think it was called, the Ancient and Ascended in ultra rare, which looks gorgeous with that blue card border. And then I pulled the Ritual spell in the same 5-card pack, which I thought was a pretty nice coincidence, because again, it's so much more unlikely when you have 4 common slots to play with in addition to that ultra. And then just a couple other foils, just like give an idea of like what you might get in a box in terms of foils. Like this is I think this is a rare in TCG. This I know is an ultra, the Phoenix guy. So it was pretty cool to be able to get all of that for just a $20 box. And then there's more. This is the final set here, but we have Code of the Duelist here. This actually I only picked up an open box worth, so this is 36 packs. Normally in TCG I'd be afraid of it being scaled, but this was most of the box, and this was like at an art store. Pretty much in any supply store in Korea you can expect there's going to be some sort of cards if kids might go there. And so just bought the whole box of it. It cost me 18 bucks for all that. And we got some really, really cool things that are different from the TCG version. So we got an ultra rare version of Firewall Dragon, which looks really, really cool. Link markers are foil and everything. And this card can also come as ultimate or as a secret, but it can't come as holographic anymore because apparently in Korea, they stopped making holographic rares starting with Code of the Duelist. I was really bummed. I really wanted a holographic rare version of this. I might have to pick up a Japanese one now. Not sure if I want to though, because it's still like 20 bucks on eBay, but you know, it is what it is. I do like the Ultra, just because it is different from the TCG version, but we got the cover card, so that's a win right there. A common version of Traptrix Mantis, because I'm biased, and this is, you know, one of the archetypes I like playing. And then few cards over here from actually pretty much the entire Twilight Sworn set. So we have Jane, Lila as a common, Lumina as a super rare, not as a secret. It could be a secret though. We have a common Raikou, not a rare. We have Punishment Dragon. This pretty much looks the same unless you read it and realize it's not in English. We have Twilight Twin Dragons, the Eraser, and then the Cloth or Cloak or whatever trap card. So full set of that. And this is like, I pulled just one of each of these out to show you guys. I pulled only one Lumina and one Punishment Dragon in the box, but like all the commons I pulled playsets of. So like you get so much value out of a single box. On top of that, if you weren't interested in Twilight Sworns, you could go and get the World Legacy or World Chalice cards. So we have the vanilla guys. We have Guard Dragon is a friggin' common. I pulled 4 of these things, and back in when they first came out in TCG, $10 a piece. Think of how much you're making with OCG. Like, it's just ridiculous what you're able to pull. You can pull a set of these cards in the OCG. It's just phenomenal. Lee, I pulled one of, but I mean, it's a rare, so I guess it's a little harder to pull than the common. But, you know, I mean, this is like a few cents if you go to any Korean shop and try to pick one up. So that's nice. We have the other World Chalice thing, common Imduk, rare Ebe, and then super Arum. This is the only one that kept the same rarity as TCG here. Or I guess other way. It's the only one that didn't get upgraded because it was already super. We have the field spell and stuff, the trap. So World Chalice, World Legacy guys, if you are interested in any like Yu-Gi-Oh artwork lore, like Dual Terminal or whatever, I definitely recommend go check out the wiki on these cards, because especially with the Jack Knights coming out, there's an interesting story going on. Like the Jack Knights capture Ebe, and then there's this crazy battle. Like it's just a really nice touch that adds depth to the game. Where we may not necessarily see it just from playing it. So I definitely think it's cool that we're able to pull an entire archetype there as well. Didn't pull Ningirsu, unfortunately, but you know, it was still very close. And then we have some other things. So we have the DDD guy as both super and secret. We have Recall as the rare, and Heavy Storm Dusters also only a rare, which is insane. Goki Ogre's an ultra because he's important in the show, and then Mrs. Radiant is only a rare, which is kind of interesting, I guess. But I guess Miss Starboy ended up getting printed as a common in our circuit break, so it's not that crazy that they're lower rarity now. We have not one, but 2 of these rescue ferrets. which is really cool because, I mean, these aren't secrets. I think Rescue Rabbit was also a rare in OCG's Photon Shockwave, so it's really cool to be able to see these as more accessible to the player base. And then Emergency Rescue here is basically a rare, which is in between the common in the core set we got and then the super promo preview card we got. So I thought that was kind of just a nice touch. And then finally, Trick Stars. Again, this is all one box. We got a Holly Angel. We got the Ulti Holly Angel, which looks really, really nice. The markers are Ulti as well, so I was very happy I was able to get at least one of these just to see what it looks like. It looks phenomenal. I really do miss Ultimate Rares in the core sets. I think after they stopped making them, I started appreciating them more, and I was like, wow, you know, like it's kind of sad that we don't have variant cards anymore in the main sets, because the variety is what really makes it fun. It's what makes Pokemon fun to open. It's what makes OCG cards fun to open. I just wish we had a little more of that going on in the TCG. And then some of the other cards, we have a common like Chorus. We have Light Stage is a common, not an ultra. Reincarnation is a common. I mean, enough said here. Candino was a rare as well. I pulled a playset of everything except the Holly Angel and the Candino. I pulled a pair of each of those, gave them to my brother because he was using proxies before, and I thought you gotta at least use real cards. But yeah, I mean, just, you could pull so much out of a single box. Again, this is 36 packs. I didn't even get the full box because some kids probably bought 4 of those packs. But, you know, like, you could feasibly pull a rare Candina in one of those 4 packs. And you could potentially get an entire playset of everything in the archetype for one $20 box. If you want to play the game, OCG is just so much better of a value. It's pretty much the next best thing beyond DevPro and those free simulators, because at least these are still real cards. You still have something really cool to collect and, you know, just have. So I thought that was cool. And then the last card is just Motivating Captain, because I just thought this card was funny. It's kind of like Crane, so I always thought this had potential. I haven't found the real use for it yet, other than being a worse Crane for Mrs. Radiant, but you know, it's a potentially useful card, so I thought I'll keep it. I like this card. But yeah, this is pretty much the entire recap of everything. So if we talk just quickly recapping the prices, again, the first batch of essentially 40 packs is a little less than that, somewhere between 35 and 40 packs, costed me $40, and that included sleeves. So that's, you know, the price of what, half of a box in the TCG. And then on top of that, I was able to get the $9, we'll round that to 10 for that second set with like the Crystal Wing and the Exodia heads and the other Gold Series cards. And then we got 2 more boxes, Invasion Vengeance and the Firewall set, the Code of the Duelist as well. And so you get $40 more there, 20 and 20. I spent $90 on all of this stuff, but there's no way in the TCG that you can spend $90 and get this much variety and value throughout the entire span of everything in Yu-Gi-Oh! So like, this was just such a meaningful, just cool experience for me in regards to this game. Just being able to see everything from the past, actually explore some of the stuff in the current sets, because it's not expensive. There's not the money barrier anymore. And honestly, because of that, I've made the decision that I'm going to look more into the OCG side of things for collecting things. So I've actually now pretty much graduated from college. Technically, I'm in my last year of the program, where it's like not on site, not on campus, but you know, I'll get my paper later this year. But essentially, I'm no longer going to that locals. I don't plan on going to any actual events, because I like the variety that this game presents, but competitive play doesn't offer as much variety and freedom as, you know, I'm just wanting from this game. So takes away the need for me to get actual TCG cards, and then it's a lot cheaper, and then you have different varieties of cards that you can't get, different versions, you know, like ulti versions of cards, holographics in certain packs before Code of the Duelist, you know, things like that. And so I personally just made the decision I'm going to get mix and match between TCG and OCG, depending on what version of things I want. It'll basically be my like high-end proxy, if you will. But I'll continue making all this stuff and continue playing. I think it's just like the most reasonable way to get things done. Just, you know, do what makes you happy. And in my case, since I'm familiar enough with the Korean text and everything, that these OCG cards don't feel fake or anything to me, I see no reason not to use them just for fun. And for that reason, I actually ordered a couple boxes. Should be coming sometime within a month. Darn international economic shipping. But I have a box of Circuit Break and a box of Maximum Crisis coming just to open for fun. If you guys would be interested in seeing me open those and, you know, have me go through as I open them kind of the differences between TCG and OCG versions of those sets, then let me know down in the comments below. And just tell me, you know, what are your thoughts on the differences between TCG and OCG? There are definitely enough differences in the game that this became a really memorable trip in regards to this game at the very least. So definitely was thankful for that experience, and hopefully this video will be something not only for me to chronicle my memories and experiences here, but that shed some light on the topic if you guys weren't familiar with the OCG quite as much, and yeah, maybe shows you what you guys might be missing if you're stuck only in TCG land. But thanks for watching as always, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is JDGaming, and I'll see you guys next time. That's the end of this video, but if you enjoyed it, I encourage you guys to leave a like and share it so we can spread the video to as many other people who may enjoy the content as well. If you like this series, you can see more of it by clicking the video annotation on the right, or you can click the one on the left to see the last video I did. And if you really enjoyed what you saw today, then I invite you guys to subscribe to JD Gaming to see more Yu-Gi-Oh updates. Thanks guys, this is JD Gaming, hope you guys enjoyed as always, and I'll see you guys next time.